ओ मणिपद में हूँ, ओ मणिपद में हूँ, मणिपद में हूँ, मणिपद में हूँ, मणिपद में।
Welcome to another episode of the From the Pure Land podcast. I'm Mel Pine. The title of this one is Paths to Liberation: What Buddhism and Kardecism Share and What They Don't. Is Kardecism new to you? Me too. Let's explore it. I've been blessed over the last couple of years with a driving curiosity about the various spiritual paths toward liberation from suffering. If I want non-Buddhists as well as Buddhists to benefit from what I write, I need to understand the range of belief systems. Reddit has helped me there. It's where I first came across Kardecism. At first glance, it seems like an obscure 19th century European curiosity. But with millions of practitioners in Brazil and growing interest elsewhere, it deserves attention. Allan Kardec was the pen name of Hippolyte Léon Denizard Rivail, a French educator who in 1857 published the Spirits book. He wasn't trying to start a religion. He was attempting to systematize what he believed were communications from spirits through mediums. The result became a comprehensive philosophy addressing many of the same questions Buddhism tackles through different methods and with some different answers. As one who sees the donut before thinking about the whole, I'll start with the similarities. Both traditions teach reincarnation or rebirth. We don't get just one shot at existence. In Kardecism, spirits or souls reincarnate multiple times to learn lessons and progress morally and intellectually. The circumstances of each life, rich or poor, healthy or sick, relate to what the spirit needs to learn or what it needs to work through. The details in Buddhism vary by school, but in general, our actions, karma, create conditions for future rebirths. We pass through cycles of samsara, birth, delusion, and death, until we awaken. Both traditions reject the concept of a supreme being who decides who shall live and who shall die. There's no sovereign God in either system dispensing rewards and punishments. Instead, we're governed by natural laws, karma in Buddhism, moral causality in Kardecism. Kardecism does talk about a God, but more as the prime source or architect of natural law than as a personal deity who intervenes in human affairs. The universe runs according to its own principles. Our job is to understand and work with them, not to beg for special treatment. Both traditions emphasize moral development through our own efforts. Beliefs and homage to an external deity aren't tickets to paradise. In Buddhism, that's following the Eightfold Path, cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. In Kardecism, it's progressing through successive incarnations, each offering opportunities to develop values like charity, humility, and love. Pure Land Buddhism might be considered an exception. In many forms, sincere homage to the Buddha Amitabha may on its own bring people to his Pure Land, where they will suffer no more but will still need to learn and grow spiritually to attain enlightenment. Neither tradition threatens eternal hellfire if you screw up. You might have a bad rebirth. In many forms of Buddhism, that might be a long life in a hell realm, but you always eventually get another shot. You get as many chances as you need to figure things out. Both also teach that advanced spiritual beings, bodhisattvas in Buddhism, elevated spirits in Kardecism, can and do help those still struggling on the path. These aren't gods demanding worship, but compassionate beings who've gone before us and now serve as guides and teachers. As for the differences, the Buddha famously avoided metaphysical speculation. When people asked about the origin of the universe or what happens to an enlightened being after death, he'd tell them they were asking the wrong questions. The parable of the poisoned arrow makes this clear. When someone's shot by an arrow, you don't stand around asking who made it and what kind of bow they used. You pull the damn thing out. The Buddha was laser-focused on ending suffering. Metaphysics was a distraction. Kardecism dives right into metaphysics. The Spirit's book addresses precisely the kinds of questions the Buddha declined to answer. What is God? What is the nature of spirits? What happens between incarnations? How does the spirit world interact with the material world? This leads to another major difference. Buddhism is fundamentally about liberation from the cycle of rebirth. The goal is to escape samsara entirely, to achieve a state beyond birth and death. Different Buddhist schools describe this differently. Some call it emptiness, some call it Buddha nature, some won't describe it at all. But the direction is clear: get off the wheel. Kardecism, by contrast, sees reincarnation as the vehicle for endless progress. You don't escape the cycle, you evolve through it. Eventually, you become a pure spirit, but that doesn't mean you stop existing or progressing. You just operate at a higher level of consciousness and continue helping others. That state is similar to how I envision Amitabha's Pure Land. The role of mediumship creates another divide. In Kardecism, communication with spirits is central to the practice. Kardec's entire system arose from seances and spirit communications. Spiritist centers regularly hold sessions where mediums receive messages from the deceased. Buddhism doesn't go there. In some Buddhist schools, practitioners may request and receive guidance from deities that may have existed once in the human realm, but the focus is on one's own direct experience of the nature of mind. The concept of self differs significantly too. Buddhism teaches anatman, no permanent, unchanging self. What we think of as I is actually a constantly shifting collection of physical and mental processes. When the Buddha rejected the Hindu concept of Atman, an eternal soul, he was saying there's no fixed essence that defines you across time. Kardecism explicitly teaches that each person has an individual spirit that persists across incarnations. That spirit has a particular identity, even if it forgets previous lives when it incarnates. It's not quite the same as the Hindu Atman. It evolves and changes, but it's definitely a continuing individual essence. Both traditions offer profound insights into the human condition. Both teach that we're responsible for our own spiritual development, that the universe operates according to natural laws rather than divine whim, and that compassion and ethical conduct matter more than correct belief. If you are drawn to meditation practice and skeptical of metaphysical claims, Buddhism might resonate more. If you want a system that addresses the big cosmological questions and includes communication with the spirit world, Kardecism might be your path. Another one that might be more compatible with Buddhism is Pantheism, which I wrote about on September 1st. These traditions aren't contradictory. They're different doorways to the same, or at least a similar, room. The Buddha taught that we should accept teachings that reduce suffering and reject those that increase it. He left it up to each of us to make that evaluation.